Hello and good morning everyone from Dauphin Island, Alabama. It's somewhere around 6:30 a.m. give or take, and I'm here looking east right outside of my back door. So hopefully everybody has had a good evening and had a great weekend. So happy Monday morning. So what has occurred currently with what now is Tropical Storm Marco and no longer Hurricane Marco is the western side of the storm has met wind shear, and that has made the storm more lopsided off to the north and to the east. What does that mean? Well, we're going to look at some pictures of the Doppler radar, and I discussed yesterday that had a high likelihood of happening, leaving us in that right front quadrant of the bulk of that weather. So let's take a look at the local Doppler, and again, I really think here in the next couple of hours, maybe around 8 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, I think we'll have some pretty rough weather here as those outer feeder bands or squall lines will be moving through here. But let's take a look at it here on Doppler. Soak in some of these views real quick before it gets a little more dicey here. So beautiful morning. My lucky palm tree that always is my good wind gauge. My lucky canal here that usually tells us how high the tide is. The high tide this morning was about 3 o'clock a.m. I think it was 2:37 a.m. So the tide is falling, and that's great news for a lot of us here on Dauphin Island. But let's go take a quick look at the radar and see what's going on. Just wanted to take a quick peek at some of these really fast-moving clouds. This is my west, so in that direction is Mississippi, and it's not too terribly far away, 20 nautical miles, if that, to Mississippi water. So just check out some of the fast-moving clouds. Okay, so here is a look at our current Doppler radar, and this is as of 6:32. You can see that in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. I'll put this into loop so we can see kind of where I'm going to go with this. So, Tropical Storm Marco is located about 100 miles south-southeast of the mouth of the Mississippi River. We are here in Dauphin Island, where the green dot is located. So let me pull out the pen here. So with the center of circulation currently, or what's left of it here, you know, we ask ourselves with this thing moving off to the north and to the northwest, how can it be that the weather may get, and I think will definitely get, by the looks of the radar, a lot worse here within the next couple of hours. So what we're dealing with is some wind shear. And so what that means is there's upper level winds that are coming in from the south and the west, and moving off to the north and to the east, but at the higher level. So these tropical systems, they like to build high into the air. The higher they build into the air, the stronger that they get. You know, it's kind of like a big sandwich of clouds and precipitation and just tumultuous weather. But when the wind shear comes in at higher levels, it kind of takes the top off of the sandwich, and leads to weakening and inhibits development. So what we have is the center of circulation is going to move off to the west, still moving to the northwest, but it's supposed to take this westerly turn. However, because of the wind shear coming in from this direction, the top right, or the right front quadrant of the storm, which I have been talking about for a couple of days, as you can see, that's where all the meat of the storm is going to be moving into our direct area. So by the look of it, it's in the current loop, it looks to be maybe about 2 hours away from that center of circulation moving on top of us. So here's the current loop, and we'll look at it again and kind of zoom up. So again, I'm where the green dot is, and you can see in the past hour, these squalls have moved, say, as the crow flies, from offshore from Destin to Pensacola. So I'm guessing in about another 2 hours, this big chunk of system, or Marco, is going to move into our area. So let's look at a couple other things real quick as usual. Here's the latest National Hurricane Service update in terms of center of circulation at where it may make landfall. Again, this is kind of irrelevant because it's an empty center of circulation. There's nothing around it. So this center of circulation will push this way, but because of the upper level shear, The right front quadrant has been knocked off of the storm, and that part is moving in our direction. Luckily, the tide was early this morning was at its peak. So the tide is now falling, so that should be good news for the lot of us that live on the west end of Dauphin Island. Just a couple other quick things before I make this video short or cut it short. Again, these are just some models, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time looking at models because it's so close to shore. The convection has been disrupted, and basically what we're left with is a big chunk of squalls that should move through here again in the not too distant future. I want to remind everybody that the tropical storm currently that's in the Caribbean, which is Laura, is the main punch in this two-storm system. I know that the current models have Laura, and I'm just going to pass up Marco at this point. And again, if I do get some good weather, I will definitely get out there in it. But here's the latest track or projected path of tropical storm, which will soon be Hurricane Laura. I still disagree with this type of projected cone. I do think that it's going to move or jog a little bit more northerly. We'll see what happens here. So there's a ridge of high pressure that's steering this storm that's kind of sitting in this general area. There's also kind of a low pressure ridge that's dealing with Marco right now, but that's going to dissipate. So what does that mean? That this leaves Laura in prime conditions over hot water to strengthen rapidly, and I mean exponentially. So when these storms strengthen that quickly, they generally turn north. Now, depending upon this high pressure ridge that's sitting here, and whether or not it stays relatively stable will dictate whether or not that happens. However, the stronger that this storm gets, and it will occur, will definitely leave the path open for a northerly turn. So let's look at a couple of the models for Laura. Let me just go ahead and go to my favorite so you guys can get up and get the coffee going and all that good stuff. So here's the latest forecast set of tracks, and these are spaghetti models. This is the GFS, this is the Colorado State model, this is the Euro models, etc. I really like the model that you see either in the pink or somewhere in between the mean or the average forecast models. This is another outlier. So here's an outlier on this side. This pink model is an outlier, and kind of the average of the models are in the middle. Now you can really expand these spaghetti model views and get into where they show a different kind of setup of over 50 or 60 of them. I think when they run the software, they run over something, or they input about 50, 55 different scenarios of which way these storms may or may not go. Again, this storm is so far out here, to pinpoint a current track even at this point is really just a guessing game, hence why this kind of projected cone is so wide. But if it does gain strength, I really think that this more easterly track will hold true. And again, if we're dealing with right front quadrants and makes landfall in this general area, where is that right front quadrant? So everybody keep your eyes peeled on this storm. Laura will be a game changer. Some of the current intensity models are kind of basically staying kind of congruent with one another. We have all of them basically taking it to a strong category 1. Multiple models have it to a category 2, and we even have a couple at 3 and one even up to the notch of 4. Now don't forget that Katrina came on shore as a 4 or a strong 3. It was a 5 just before landfall, and it kind of swerved and wobbled a little bit and came ashore as a strong 4. Someone has to mention in comments, was it a strong 3 or 4 when it made landfall? I know it was a 5. It wobbled to the west, made landfall around around New Orleans, but I forget if it came ashore as a 3 or a 4. So someone shout out to whoever can tell me. I should know that. I think the anniversary to Katrina is here, what, in a week or so? I think it was August. Oh, I think it was August 25th or something when Katrina made landfall. It seems like yesterday. Anyway, keep your eyes on Laura. Laura has the potential to be catastrophic. Anyone on the northern Gulf Coast, keep your eyes open. And we'll be dealing with this one, a lot of us. Much bigger system than Marco. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, everyone, much love. Peace out. Got to get going. Go get some coffee. I know the wife's going to be yelling at me because I've been up since 4, and I got her up with me. So we'll go see how she's doing. But nonetheless, when that big system or that big set of squalls comes through, I will definitely try to get out and to get into that storm if it's worth filming. So take care. Much love. I'm waiting for this Doppler to come up one more time. Sorry for my stupidity. But here again is the current loop, and this is exactly what we're waiting on, is this counterclockwise front, or what's left of the right front quadrant, to come ashore here. All right, guys, take care. If I don't see you before the next Laura update, it's just because this big bulk of storms wasn't terribly oppressive, but I think it very well could be. All right, take care. See you guys soon. Peace. So I'll leave you with a parting view from upstairs on the back porch. So that's Mobile, Alabama in the distance. That's east to the Florida Gulf Shores area of Alabama in that direction. Just over that tree line is the Gulf of Mexico, the center of circulation of the storm. Again, it's about 105 miles south-southeast of the mouth of the Mississippi River. You can kind of see the clouds are moving in kind of that general direction. So the center of circulation of what's left of it is off to my south at this point, with that big bulk of meaty storms off in that direction. So anyway, I'm going to be watching it approach from here in the not too distant future. And they will travel, of course, over top of me and head on over to where Mikey is in Mississippi. So anyway, best of luck to everyone. It's going to be a meaty day here, so I stay positive as always. And if the weather gets good, I'll see you soon.